addressing the media?
I'm not here to judge or categorize what Milwaukee did, but I said, like, we all stood with them from OKC to Houston to our game, obviously, that didn't play. And then from that point on, my mind began to figure out what is the plan going forward. And if we don't have a plan, then what are we talking about? Why are we still here? And that's where my mind went to. And at one point there was no plan of going forward. There was no plan of action. And I'm not me personally, I'm not that type of guy. I'm not a guy who one doesn't have a plan and then is not ready to act on it as far as action. So we had a couple of days to kind of figure it out.
Just to be clear, when you went to sleep on Wednesday to take your pregame nap, you were planning on coming to the arena and playing, and you were not thinking of leaving the playoffs or leaving the bubble or anything like that.
Because of what Milwaukee did?
No, because they haven't done it yet.
I think I've had numerous nights and days of thinking about leaving the bubble. I think everyone has, including you guys.
Well, I'm leaving pretty.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think it's not one person that has not had a mind that says, "Oh, I got to get the hell out of here." But it's not because of what transpired. But yeah, it probably crossed my mind probably once a day, for sure.
Okay, Kyle Goon.
LeBron, I actually want to follow up on that because some people have talked about just maybe being in here, maybe stoking some frustrations and maybe feelings of helplessness that we know you were feeling after the last time we talked to you, whenever that was forever ago. Do you feel like that contributed this moment that you guys had and maybe needed to kind of collect and reset?
I mean, we came down here for a mission, and it was yes, basketball was the vehicle, but we had a mission, and we wanted to continue that. And we believe, that mission was kind of lost in translation, especially once the playoffs started. We were playing every other day, but it was a game on every single day. And from a fan's perspective, and from a basketball, junkie, it's the best thing that you can ever ask for. It's basketball games over and over and over and over and over. When you're trying to create change, you can't lose sight of what the main thing is and why we came down here. And yes, we've been using our voice. And yes, we've been using our platform and trying to create change, but there's an opportunity to actually come out sometimes, just take a deep breath. And that was the moment. And that was the moment. And we all, from a whole league, not only the players, the coaches, the owners, you guys, everyone had got an opportunity just to exhale and say, what are we really doing? What are we really trying to create change and have action in that? So, that gave us opportunity to do that.
Dave McMenamin was there in Orlando for the Lakers win over the Blazers. He joins us now here on SportsCenter. Obviously, their main focus once the game started, Dave, was to beat Portland and move on to the next round. But to put things in perspective, they couldn't forget what happened over the last couple of days. How did LeBron try to put everything into perspective after this win?
Yeah, Michael, it was one of those nights where LeBron kind of let it all hang out the only way he can. And, the thing that stands out to me is he talked about wanting to have a plan. And in order to put that plan into place, there was a phone call between selected players and every owner involved in the NBA. And LeBron, the way he termed it, it was very candid conversations. Now, candid might be a nice way to say contentious conversations. But at the end of the day, LeBron said those owners gave me their word and gave us their word of the actionable items they would put into place, and we're going to take them at their word. And right on the heels of that announcement by the NBA and the NBPA on Saturday, right before tip-off, the Lakers announced that they will use Staples Center as a mass voting center come November for the general and presidential election. And so change is happening here, and good change on the court for the Lakers, too, as they move on to the second round.
Yeah, those were some of the demands, and some of those demands have been met by the league and their ownership. I understand that you also recently spoke to Jacob Blake Sr., the father of the 29-year-old man who was shot there in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Of course, his shooting led to the walkout by the Bucks on Wednesday. What can you tell us about your conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wednesday feels like so long ago at this point, but If you go back to Wednesday, no one knew that the Bucks were going to protest that game. And shortly after the protest happened, where they refused to come out of the locker room, Jacob Blake Sr. said he was walked out of the hospital where he was visiting his son and received a phone call. And that, on the other end of the line, was the Milwaukee Bucks. I'll let you tell them about it here.
It touched me so deeply that I shed tears over the phone. They could hear me crying. And Giannis told me I made him cry in front of the whole team. I didn't intend to make them cry, but they felt me and I felt them. And I am the newest Milwaukee Bucks fan. They don't know what they did for us. My children are young and they need pick-me-ups. And it's hard sometimes for me to motivate them. But these young brothers in the NBA have motivated my family immensely, and we appreciate it immensely.
Now, Michael, beyond that conversation you had with the Bucks, he also spoke to Chris Paul, who is the president of the Players Association, and he passed on a message for me to give to LeBron James. He missed LeBron's call because he was on the plane, and they said he had to turn off his phone because he was flying to Washington, D.C. to speak at the March on Washington today. We'll pass on that message to LeBron that Jacob Blake's dad wasn't trying to avoid him. He just had some other business to take care of.
Understandably so. And of course, the Bucks also spoke to some lawmakers there in the state of Wisconsin as well. So again, trying to make something happen in the wake of this shooting there in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Dave McMenamin joining us here from the Bubble in Orlando.